define what a segment is? Like, would anyone want to volunteer and answer this question? Yeah.
Segment is a group of people who share same or similar behaviors or needs.
Yeah. Exactly. So segment are like, if you have a combination of people, so I will use this visual explanation. You're absolutely right. So let's say you have a mixed group of people. What segmentation does is, based on their attributes, it's grouped them together. It groups them together, right? So I've represented that here with colors. So all the purple are with purple, yellow are with yellow, blue with blue, and orange. Yeah, so essentially, let's say that was your entire data sample. We have made 4 segments here. So your definition was absolutely correct. Moving on. So now, why are segments important? So once again, to the audience, would anyone like to answer why are segments important? Sorry.
Simple because you need to find right tool or right approach for each segment.
Yeah. So what?
Specific segment you need to approach them and to lead your point or to
Yeah, so basically you can target everyone differently. That's what you're trying to say. Okay. So why do we want to target everyone differently? If we don't segment, what will happen?
Behavior or different.
Yeah, exactly. So our strategies won't be that effective, right? So let's say I am selling an ice cream and I'm targeting adults mostly without kids. So comparing that to targeting kids or adults with kids. So people with kids or kids are more likely to buy the ice cream compared to adults without kids. So that's an example of segmentation. So to make our strategies more effective, that's why we use segments. Okay. So let's do an activity here. So this is Kamal, our host. So we sort of have to help Kamal identify potential segments for attracting participants for the next MeasureCamp, right? And for this, the sample size I'm going to use is this room. So I would like everyone here to participate in this. So yeah, this is a board marker, right? Yeah. So let's try to identify, let's assume that this is our entire sample size, okay? So let's try to create segments from this room. So let's create 3 variables. So I will create segments based on 3 variables. The first one, let's say, how did you hear about MeasureCamp, right? About MeasureCamp. Okay. So how did you get to know about MeasureCamp? Was it Facebook, LinkedIn? LinkedIn. So can everyone who came here through LinkedIn raise hands so that I can write a number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So LinkedIn, 6 people. Okay. Any other sources? Facebook? Yeah, from different MeasureCamp. Okay. So this can be, let's say, different MeasureCamp. So people who have attended MeasureCamp before. And we have Facebook. Okay. So how many people are here because they heard about MeasureCamp from Facebook? A show of hands. Okay, 3 for Facebook, and I think different MeasureCamp is 1, right? Yeah. Actually, we all came through different MeasureCamps knowledge as well, so that would make everyone in this room as 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, MeasureCamp referral. So this is our audience. So our room has 13 people, and this is the distribution in our first segment. So let's do another segment. Let's say, where are you from? So let's just keep 2 categories. Are you from Azerbaijan or abroad, right? So people from, let's call it region, people from Azerbaijan or Baku. How many people are from here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 here. And let's do abroad. Okay, so how many do we have from abroad? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 from abroad. So now we have 2 variables. Would anyone like to suggest a third variable we can use for an attribute to help Kamal out here? Any third factor? So it can be like interest or yeah, job, right? So what are your interest areas? Okay. Yeah. So let's make the third variable interest areas. So what, yeah, so I know you are interested in SaaS products, so SaaS product marketing. So how many people are interested in digital marketing, right? Can you guys share, raise your hands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like 7 people in digital marketing. And let's make the other one, let's, digital analytics. Let's make it simply digital analytics.
Introduces an overlap.
What?
And introduces an overlap.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise I would be double counting. Okay. So one is digital marketing. Any other person who is, what other reasons could be for attending MeasureCamp? Like what are the other backgrounds here? No other? Okay, so a show of hand for people who are interested in digital analytics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's overlapping a bit. Okay, that's fine. It's overlapping, it's fine. Right? So we're just double counting at the moment to simply. So with these 3, we are going to have how many segments? Let's say 2, 3, 6. What is 3? Yeah, we have 2 here and 2 here. Okay. All right. So yeah. So let's say let's keep variable 1 here, variable 2 here, variable 3 here. Just gonna wipe this off. Sorry, Haris. Okay. So let's say LinkedIn, Azerbaijan. I'm just writing AZN for short. And third one is yeah, digital marketing. So let's say I'm just scoring right now. So how many people, what's the score over here? 6 plus 8 plus 7, just adding it simply. Just to see what's the most promising segment, just a simple calculation. All right, so that becomes 21. And let's do simple, now different MeasureCamp. And once again AZN. And then digital marketing, right? This becomes 19, right? And so on. So after I calculate the scores for all these, right now I would assume that the highest ranking score is probably the most promising segment for Kamal to target next year, right? So yeah, so this is just an activity I wanted to do before, like what are the steps you do in segmentation. So let's try to break this down. So natural step after this is going to be like after scoring we're going to identify like if this is the promising segment or not. We're going to validate the data if we think this is valid or not. But let's move forward. Now breaking down the process, what we just did, the first step I did was data collection. I collected the data. Well, I collected it manually, but regardless of whenever I'm doing segmentation, the first step is always going to be data collection. Next thing we did was we created these variables to make segments, right? The second step becomes segmentation. Coming to the third step, and now we are trying to figure out promising segments. So I just simply added the score over here, which is a very basic way and may not be the perfect way. But once you have the segments, then you try to identify, rank them, which are the most promising ones. Okay? Yeah. But normally the sample size is too big to replicate this exact process in the real world. You can't really go to everyone and talk to them, right? So what we do is we use digital analytics, and then this process can be applied to larger sample sizes. So in terms of digital analytics, how do we do data collections? So I think Haris covered in the previous session using GTM and GA4, right? So we have different data sources where data is normally collected automatically, right? So I'm not going to repeat all that. So yeah, since Haris explained GA4, I'm going to move on with assuming that we have collected data in GA4. Okay? So these are the different tools we can use. So segmentation. So now I will share my screen and try to use GA4 to identify potential segments on the Google Merchandise Store demo account. My objective here is to use GA4 to identify promising segments, right, in Google Merchandise Store demo account. So I come on the home page. Okay, there's some insights. Okay, this is an interesting insight. Google Organic drove most of the conversions, right? Organic search appears on around 70%. Most of our users are from the United States. Okay, so United States organic search. I'm getting a bit of a picture. All right, let's look at acquisition. All right, so once again, organic drove most conversions. United States with the most users. Yep. Okay, so this is a lot of information and good information. I'm still not sure if I can identify specific segments, right? So I do know organic in United States correspond to most of my users and conversions. But yeah, that's about it. Email doesn't seem to be that session channel. Okay, let's see engage session or something. Let's go on a different chart. So the reason why I'm speeding up is because I just have 5 minutes for this. Okay, let's see total revenue here. So yep, direct is better than organic search according to this, right? And yeah, direct, organic search, and email correspond to our greatest revenue, right? I'm correlating revenue with, let's say, how promising a segment might be. Okay, yep, and so on. Okay, same thing. Let's look at engagement. Actually, I'm not that interested in engagement because I want to see which segments, like essentially if like 10% or like 5% of my users correspond to 10% of my revenue, I would say that's better than 10% of the users corresponding to 10% of the revenue, right? So lower chunk corresponding to greater revenue, that's what I want to identify, segments like that. So this is good behavioral data, good engagement data, very insightful, but I'm not really sure if I can at least use GA4 to identify top opportunities, right? Let's go to conversions. Okay, so I have event name along with conversions. So that makes sense. Still not able to identify segments in particular. Maybe monetization has what we're looking for. Okay, there's a trend. Yep, trends are helpful, especially for day-to-day reporting. But not much here. Okay, so maybe I explore and use my reports. Let's go ahead and try. Let's start a blank report. Okay, what I want to see is, so I have to create custom segments here. Alright, so how about I use dimensions? So for dimensions, I have and actually I'm almost out of time, like 30 seconds remaining, and I'm pretty much nowhere, right? So yeah, that's sort of what I wanted to demonstrate. Like with the normal approach, manually looking at GA4 and identifying promising segments, it generally tends to be tougher, right? So yeah, I'll just quickly switch back to the slide, right? Promising segments, not enough time, at least not for me. I wasn't able to figure that out. Okay, now I will demonstrate my approach, and I will try to do this within 5 minutes. So maybe 5 minutes will get up, but I'll try to just get these segments within 5 minutes. Let's see if I can do it. Even if I'm not able to do it, I will maybe take a little more time and do it either way. Okay. So yeah, so let's go on to the demo. I will be using these Google Analytics 4, Google Data Studio, and Google Colab. Okay, so don't get scared of Colab. So whatever code I've written there, I'm going to share it with everyone. So no worries, you can use the exact same code and use the approach, right? So I come here. So what I normally do is I go to the Looker Studio, right? Create a blank report. I want to connect it with Google Analytics. I search demo here. Search. Go to demo account. Google Merchandise Store. Yep, this is the one we were just looking at in GA4. Use the same one. Okay, I think the connection's a little slow. Okay. Now I'm going to start my timer in under 5 minutes. So I just started a timer. This is a Google Data Studio report which I have connected with the GA4 Google Merchandise demo account, right? So now the goal is to create segments and see which of them are the most promising. So I will create simple segments by default general grouping. And this is item brand, item category. Okay, so I'm just removing nulls here. There are some blank values in the data. Do the same thing for item brand. Case when brand equals blank, then null else item brand, and this I choose item brand here like this. Okay, and views are not that important for me. I will go with total users and total revenue. Okay, so this doesn't tell me a lot. I just want to see what percentage share for users is here and revenue share for users. What's the revenue share corresponding to each segment and the user share corresponding to each segment. So I will take percent of total relative to base data, name this user share, and do the same thing here, percent of total relative to base data, name it revenue share. Okay. And next thing I would do is I download this data. Let's call this demo file new, export it.
Now I come on Google Colab. This is a pre-written code I've written. So I run this to upload file. We'll upload the file which we just used. This will demo file new. The file is uploaded. Now I'll just run a few commands. Okay, so over here you see we have the promising segment. I've calculated this promise score. It's simply revenue share divided by user share. So like email, uh, when the session default channel group begins email with item category new, that has the highest promise. Email apparel and item print Google is also good. So you can see mostly it's through email, right? Uh, okay. And if you want to see a visualization of the results, you can see the top ones with their respective revenue share and user share here, right? So when the revenue share is higher, that's better. And if I plot promise score, you can see that here too. So the best one, according to this formula, is targeting through them through email for category new and no brand. Second best, email category apparel with Google as brand. Third best, email category collections with Google as brand, and so on. I think, yeah, that's about it. We have identified the top segments. Let's stop our timer.